I'll be speaking about the influence of gender on communication. Um, when it comes down to just speaking from same gender, I believe we're more comfortable in this sense. If I were just speaking to an audience full of men, male genders and stuff, I personally feel I would be more comfortable since I'd be able to relate to them more. Um, just an example would be going into with one of my coworkers. Most of us males, we talk about maybe would it be sports? We're talking in a deeper voice, or laughing, that kind of stuff. For me, I believe it would be more difficult talking to the females, and the relationships, it's not the same gender. So the communication would be different because it wouldn't be as comfortable as something you can relate to. And those things, when you're speaking to a mixed audience, it kind of goes kind of both ways where you might be uncomfortable with this gender and then you're just comfortable with this, so it kind of balances out. Might be better for worse, but it would be very interesting to see how that would turn out. The reason I speak about this is because the comfortability of how it would be to communicate goes into when you're doing presentations and stuff. I just think if you were talking to a room full of males and stuff and you're a male, it would be much easier. If you're talking to a room full of females, I can see that being more difficult. And then the vice versa, if it's a female talking to a bunch of males, it might be just that they're not going to be able to relate as much to you. However, I mean, anyone can have experience, and I feel like the influence of gender on this communication would be taken differently. Some examples as well that I could think of is just whenever one of my female coworkers is cracking a joke about something that happens with females and stuff, like maybe it's something going on with their hair or something, and I might not get it, or it could just be something that happened and they could relate to it on a much better note than I do, and I just don't quite understand it. I don't quite receive that message that they're trying to input. Like, oh, you know, my hair was like really dry today, or it's like really dead. And I don't really understand exactly. I mean, I get it, but it's not the same communication when we're talking about it. And I think when it's like for males, a little more TMI on this point, it's just males talking about when we're walking, we talk about chafing, and I don't know if that's the same thing for females, but us guys can really relate when we're walking, and it's just, I guess maybe it's just the body part, and we're able to relate to that on a whole nother level. I also noticed this in another example is when we're talking to customers, clients and stuff, I notice personally for myself that when I'm talking to male clients, I'm trying to be reassuring with them and stuff and let them know like, hey, it's good, it's going to be fine, we're going to get this done, and you guys are going to be great. I notice with female clients, however, I'm a little more soft-spoken with them, and I'm trying to make sure my tone and voice is more comforting to them. So the gender influence definitely does play a role there. I feel I'm more soft-spoken with them than I am with my male counterparts. At the end of the day, I just want to go back to comfortability. I think as long as you feel comfortable, I just feel more comfortable speaking to the men, just because I feel like I could relate to them more. And to women, it's a little more difficult, but I do try. We change our approaches on how we talk to the genders, the different genders and stuff. Besides that, there's more than two genders. I mean, it's a mixed bag. You got to appease to both of them. So, in the end, it's just how it's going to influence your comfortability, at least in my point of view.